So in the landscape of science-based training, I've never been the one to actually be precise with my sets and reps. But however, in the past 20 years, I feel like I've consistently made progress in the gym, and now I'm almost 37 years old and I'm seeing the results that I want and even better. So I'm gonna show you how you can do this. The first thing is you want to enjoy the process. When you're starting out, there's a lot of questions that you have. When you're starting out, the most important thing you can do is build a consistent foundation, which means building that habit of just showing up and coming to the gym and not being intimidated or afraid by everything around it. Because that's gonna lead to consistent results. And that's the biggest reason why most people don't see the results that they want. So showing up, being consistent. The next thing though is very important, and that's to actually build that mindset where you're able to push past your uncomfortable limit. Regardless of how many sets and reps, like no matter how perfect your program is, if you don't have that mindset where you're pushing yourself beyond that uncomfortable barrier, it's going to be hard in the long run. It helps to have that mindset where you're able to push past that, because that's going to lead to a lot of good things in the gym, and it carries over to everything else in life. So having that set will help the next step, which is pushing past your previous performance. Regardless of the sets and reps and exercises and time and attention, there's so many ways and methods to mix up the intensity, the workout, and just shocking your body into like not knowing what's happening, so it adapts and rebuilds and comes back stronger than before. Of course, don't expect yourself to do that every workout for months on end, because that accumulates in fatigue and stress. So don't worry if you have like a week where you feel tired and slow. Normal, completely normal. I have that all the time. And the other thing is building a program that works for you. I used to do push-pull legs 3 times a week for the better half or the most part of my lifting career. Now I'm doing more 6 times a week. I actually I looked up a program that has that foundation, and then I changed it up a bit for myself. It would be like an Excel sheet where it would tell you like, okay, this is how much you lifted in the last workout, this is how much you'll lift in the next workout. But I don't think that's the most important part. And I have a hard time tracking micro details. And tracking these things is a bit of a stress for me, so I don't actually do that. And I already have enough trouble tracking and writing down what I've done that day or what I'm gonna do. So what I do is I looked at the program for the first few months, and then I just knew what I was doing without looking at the program. But I would change up some things, adapt to it, adapt to new things, and I would change up the intensity. And it takes a while to see results. Like, you will see a ton of social media and influencers who seem to make progress almost overnight, but what you don't see is how they look when they're not working out and what they actually take when they're not on camera, because you don't know what they're taking. You can't compare yourself. If I was wearing a t-shirt outside the gym, you would never guess I lift weights. It's hard to see. But when I'm in the gym, I'm pumped, my muscles look bigger, I'm sweating, and my fullness is there. It makes a big difference. People even think like, are you on anything? But when I'm wearing a t-shirt, I never get asked that question. So you tend to look better in the gym than outside. And so don't be harsh on yourself. This next thing is it's a superpower, learning to turn negative energy into motivation, which helps, and it will lead to like unlimited energy, unlimited motivation. And I'm able to do this, although I've had periods where I just like go through the motion and I don't feel like doing my best. But consistently, I've been able throughout my years to turn that things that bother me into workout pain, workout energy. And it helps a ton, regardless of what pre-workout I'm taking. I'm going for 110% effort. And that pre-workout, whatever it is, it may give me like 1 to 5% extra performance. And so yeah, the next thing is supplements. You don't need supplements. Supplements supplement your diet. So if you're not, I never count protein, but I've always tried to eat to a point where I don't gain fat, but also not losing too much weight. And throughout my years, like I've had times or days where I counted protein. It was so hard, and I noticed I wasn't getting anywhere near the recommended amount. But I was still seeing the progress that I like and the results I like. And I think the whole protein intake thing, sometimes it makes minimal to no difference. You need protein, that's the end of the story. How much you need just depends on how much you're able to eat. So if you're having trouble gaining weight, then yes, eat more protein, eat more calories. But if you don't have trouble gaining weight, in fact, you have the opposite, you have the problem of gaining fat, then yeah, you're gonna have to eat less or eat less quality food and eat more quality food like protein sources. I love eating eggs myself. Eggs are a big part of my diet ever since I started. Eggs are like a steroid to me. It'll make a big difference. But there is only one supplement that I would recommend to like 100% of people, unless you're not responding to it, which is creatine. Creatine is in meat and fish, but there's very little amounts and you won't get enough even if you eat a ton of protein, a ton of red meats every day. And it's probably not the healthiest thing to do. So creatine monohydrate, that's the only form that you need. And the second the second supplement I would take is pre-workouts. Obviously, I love pre-workouts. I see an instant effect. It helps with my consistency, motivation, and energy, and it helps a lot with my performance. I see the results in terms of pumps and just instant effects in terms of the workout. But regardless of the pre-workout I'm taking, whether I am or not, I'm still gonna try my best in the gym, regardless. I've taken breaks from pre-workouts and I still push myself. And it might be hard the first week, second week, but I eventually catch up and I end up pushing myself even more. Like I get more energy in the long run because I get that better sleep without pre-workouts. Hopefully this helped you overall. It's the consistency, the mental fortitude of that mental mindset that you should have, and the enjoying the workout itself and making it consistent enough that it turns into a habit. Hope this helped. If you have any questions, comment below. See you later.